Commissioner Wisenhunt out and Commissioner McDaniel is gone, but whenever you're ready, they're
You mean
told
the
to
women are
start.
gone permanently?
She's done for today. She's not going to be in the briefing, and Commissioner Wisenhunt just stepped out. She should be back shortly.
So shall we start? We've got a quorum.
We can start.
All right, start. The briefing session of the Forsyth County Board of Commissioners is now in session, and Mrs. Wisenhunt has returned. We're now in session for the briefing. And I'll turn the meeting over to our Deputy County Manager, Damon Sanders Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So I'm just going to quickly kind of go over the items for the May 5th, 2022 meeting. So the first one is to eliminate criminal penalties as an enforcement action, and Chris Murphy's going to talk about that.
Chris, the key word he used was quickly.
If I can find the PowerPoint. I don't know how I keep missing it. Didn't go far enough. That was the problem. Yes, very quick. We have been working with both the city and the county attorney's office on this. This was something that came out of Senate Bill 300, Part 13, decriminalization of certain ordinances. There are 4 different areas of the UDO that need to be changed. Just a little bit of background. In September of 2021, the North Carolina General Assembly did pass Senate Bill 300, which is a wide range of criminal justice reform bill. Part 13 of that details specific situations where development ordinances may not impose criminal penalties, including enforcement of any provisions which draw their legal basis from NCGS 160D, which is the land use statutes for the bulk of the UDO. Planning staff and the attorney's office staff reviewed the UDO to determine areas where these criminal penalties would need to be removed in order to comply with that Senate bill. And the sections are identified in that in the ordinance in front of you and in that bullet. I'm not going to go over those. Staff does believe this text amendment will have minimal impact. We haven't used any criminal penalties in over 20 years. I'm not sure that we've ever used them in the county. We have used them on occasion in the city. Civil penalties will remain the primary tool for correcting any violation and ensuring compliance with the UDO. And again, at the end of the day, we don't really want civil penalties, we want compliance. And that's just a tool we use to get there. This was heard by the Planning Board at their February 10th, 2022 public hearing. There were no speakers in opposition, and the Planning Board did vote unanimously to recommend approval of this request.
Comments or questions, commissioners? You're home free.
All right, thank you.
The remaining items I'll go over quickly, and they'll get a fuller briefing next Thursday. There'll be your minutes for the meeting of April 21st. There's an amendment to the Telephone System Special Revenue Fund, where we are moving some money to help with our radio system upgrade. There's a fee schedule adjustment by the Department of Public Health. It's kind of a regular thing that they do. There'll be 3 grants from the National Environmental Health Association and Food and Drug Administration for public health again, and a budget ordinance amendment for that. There's a contract with United Way for provision of non-congregate COVID-19 sheltering in Forsyth County. There's a chiller replacement at the airport North Liberty Street. And then there are medical supplies from Boundtree Medical. We are running up against the limit of that resolution, so to get through the balance of the year, they give the manager authority to make additional purchases from Boundtree. There's an interlocal agreement with the city for 2530 Pittsburgh Avenue, the property that you talked about earlier about whether or not to relinquish that to the city or to be joint owners. So the agreement was to be joint owners. So this is an interlocal agreement that does that, talks about maintenance and so forth. And there's actually, the city told me to tell you that there was some interest in that property already from a Boston Thurman CDC, basically, that would lease that and do the upfits on it. Then you have a couple of tax items, refunds, and reports. And then that would be it for the agenda for that meeting on the 5th. And then the last item that's not on your printed agenda there, but 10 a.m. discussion sessions. So tentative format and schedule. I know Dudley and Mrs. Sloop have discussed that, so I'm going to let her talk a little bit about that schedule.
Thank you. So in front of you is a single sheet of paper about proposed dates for the 10 a.m. morning sessions. And so they're every other month, which coordinate with the different updates that we get or the different departments come to the Board of Commissioners to report. So May 26th would be the first one, followed by July 28th, September 15th, and November 17th. These are on second briefing days, and they would occur at 10 a.m. We would have lunch, and then that would be followed by a briefing session. And this would continue if the board chooses to do so.
These are the only 4 days that we're going to do it in the year.
Throughout
This
the year, yeah, for this year.
Yeah,
So in 2023, there would be 6 days
Okay.
where you would come in at 10 a.m. And this is in hopes to shorten the 2 p.m. meetings and briefings.
Good idea.
Any questions or comments?
I assume we'd have the meeting in here
Yes.
and televise it the same way?
Yes, sir.
Ideal.
Any other questions?
Yeah. So look it over. If you have any questions or suggestions, just let us know. We're happy to modify it if it needs to be done.
Okay. Got it.
And that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
That's it?
That's it.
We've gone through a briefing session in 5 minutes. You ever thought about a full-time job as a county manager? That's pretty darn good. Any further questions before we adjourn? No questions. Motion by Commissioner Kaplan that we adjourn. I'll second the motion.
All right.
That's about as quick as we